Hi guys, it's Katia here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's video is gonna be about my whole Anthurium collection, and let me tell you, there is a lot. So buckle in, get some popcorn and enjoy this probably very long video. So in the frame you should see some of them. I tried taking a picture of all of them and it just doesn't fit in the picture. So a little overview of my growing conditions. I keep them all in my grow tent, so relative humidity around 90. The temperatures can vary, but usually it's from 20 to 24 degrees and they get 14 hours of artificial light. Usually from 1000 lux to more, sometimes even less, it depends, because it gets a bit cramped and not everyone gets the same amount of light. If you're curious about the grow mix that I have them in, I did the whole highlight about my Anthurium soil mix composition. I explained all the components, so if you're interested, be sure to check it out. And without further ado, let's dive into it. We're gonna start off with hybrids. I'm not gonna go in any particular order because to classify them that would take too long. So the first plant is this Anthurium. So this plant was sold to me as Anthurium Forgetty Eye crossed with Anthurium Crystallinum, but I believe it is some sort of crystallinum. It doesn't have closed sinus. It is very dark. It's one of my darkest crystallinums and it has venation that's a bit more thicker. It is currently pushing out a new leaf. Hopefully you're gonna be able to see here. It has been a relatively slow grower for me because I had it for roughly around a year. It is now fully rooted, like properly rooted, and it's been growing fast for me now because this leaf isn't that old. While we are on this topic, this is the same plant that I ordered. I ordered these from Indonesia. It was an import. As you can see, they're probably not Forgetty Eye hybrids. This one, however, I've cut, so this was whole grown by me. It's not the plant that I've received. I have two of the same and another smaller one. The leaves come out the most amazing pink and they tend to have like the violet or the blue hue to them, which is kind of really hard to capture on the camera, but they're super pretty but so slow. They're growing so slow for me, so hopefully they're gonna speed up. Okay, we're gonna go with another hybrid. So I have showed this in one of my growth update videos. This is Anthurium Magnificum crossed with Crystallinum, a very sad plant. This is what is left of it. It got a very bad stem rot that I didn't see until it was too late because the plant was growing new leaves, so I wasn't suspecting that anything was wrong. So I had to cut it like really short to the top basically, and I wasn't sure if it was gonna survive or not, but it has pushed one root and it's working on a new one here. It's not rotting, it's staying in water, so keeping my fingers crossed it makes it, because this plant is amazing. So I was really devastated because I thought I was gonna lose it, but he's a fighter. Next one is Anthurium Crystal Hope. I think it's a mix of something. So this one is actually going to my friend Laura. I'm babysitting it. I did want to post it, but as you can see, it is pushing out a new leaf and we're just gonna wait until that leaf hardens. This plant is so root bound because the pot has tension to it, so it's in desperate need of repot. It was one of my first Anthuriums, so it has been with me for more than a year. I've propagated it, we've been through a lot. It's a very forgiving plant. It has the most beautiful sparkly and splashy leaves. It's not your classical silver blush. It's not Crystal Hope either, so it's not Dorayaki. I don't know what it is. It's pretty, but I've decided to part with it just because, I don't know, probably gonna regret it. Okay, let's go to the Crystalline Realm. I'm gonna start off with this guy here. I'm babysitting this guy. We got it from Rural Tropics. and it has grown this beautiful leaf in my care. It's so pretty, it's so dark, but it's so round. It's really beautiful. It is staying in a plastic pot, like the plastic cup, because this is what I had available at the time, and it's happy. It doesn't have any drainage holes, but once you learn the watering process, you should be good to go. So this is one of many. This is Anthurium Crystalline hybrid that I received from Indonesia as Anthurium Magnificum, but it's not Magnificum. It has round petioles. The leaves come out very pink, whereas on Magnificums they have more reddish and bronze hues, like I'm gonna show you later. It's pushing out a new leaf. Not sure you're gonna be able to see, but it grows. It's cute. I mean, it's nothing like extraordinary in terms of crystalline hybrids. Still debating if I want to keep it, but maybe this new leaf will be the deciding factor for me. Now we're getting one of the big boys. This is my Mama Crystallinum. She's gorgeous. You've seen her before. She is currently working on a new leaf, which is very exciting. I am giving her hints that she should produce an inflorescence because I have Magnificum pollen, this guy right here. So I want to make babies real bad. But she could use some more leaves just so she can sustain herself, because the older one is yellowing and I'm gonna cut it soon, but I'm waiting for the new leaf to go. Head test, is it valid? She's big. Let's go into the Forgetty Eye realm. This is my first Forgetty Eye that I received last year as well. I only bought it with this leaf and it was like 35 euros, which is hella cheap. Since he's been a slow grower and the leaf size is not really increasing except for the last leaf, which kinda is bigger, which is nice. I've recently repotted it, so I think it's taking its time to grow more roots. This is the green form. As you can see, it does not have prominent veining because majority of Forgetty Eyes have silver veins and I have the ones with silver, so I'm gonna show it to you. It's a cutie pie. I like him. Continuing with Forgetty Eyes, this is Anthurium Forgetty Eye Silver Stripe. I got this from Equagenera. You've seen it in one of my hauls. I received it with practically no roots and I was like, oh shoot, it's gonna take forever to, you know, recap, grow new roots, grow new leaves and all of that, but I've put it in moss and it has been super happy. So I've just put him in my arid mix that I use for Anthuriums. There is some moss on top just because he has little roots poking out of it, the pot. They just want to escape so bad. So this is the silver stripe. As you can see, it has more prominent silver venation, and this particular plant has very round and oval leaves, and it's just so aesthetically pleasing for some reason, because this guy, if we compare, is more tear-shaped than this guy. So yeah, I wasn't sure if I like it, but I think it's growing on me and it's pushing out a new leaf. Again, not sure you're gonna be able to tell, but it's pushing out a new leaf here. So I'm excited to see that new leaf. I didn't like Forgetty Eyes at the beginning, but I think they have grown on me, especially with this one. Such a cutie pie. Next on, Forgetty Eye Hybrid. So this guy, I'm babysitting this guy as well. I'm babysitting a lot of plants, as you can see. I can open a hotel. This was bought as Anthurium Papillae, which hopefully you can tell it is not. Sellers are selling pretty much everything as Papillae these days, but it's okay. This is the leaf that was unfurling when I received it. It's a bit damaged, but it has unfurled, and as you can see, it already has closed sinus. It grew this one, which has completely closed sinus, and the sinus it has a lot of red pigments in it. I'm not sure you're gonna be able to see in the video, but then it grew this leaf and I'm like, who are you? What do you want to be? It has partially closed sinus, whereas this one is completely closed. Mind you, this is the same plant. So it really varies between fully closed and semi-closed sinus. And it has very long leaves, kind of reminds me of Uruguayana, but I don't know. It's a very complex hybrid. It's very beautiful and it's just pushing out a new leaf. Look, so this is a new leaf. It has a lot of growing to do. Partially closed sinus, and it's very heart-shaped. Anyways, I love this plant. It has grown on me so much, and it has like reddish petioles, which is beautiful as well. And yeah, now we're closing the Forgetty Eye. Let's do regals now. So I have two regals. This is my biggest one. This one was an import from South America. It's not from Ecuador though. This is the leaf that grew in my care. It came with two other leaves, but we've cut them off. As you can see, it's very dark and narrow, and I love the genetics he has. It's very well rooted in the pot, like there are roots everywhere. And it has a caterpillar now, which is exciting because it didn't have one before. And I'm hoping it's gonna grow a new leaf soon. The thing with regals is they're super slow and their leaves are sensitive. They're sensitive to lack of airflow, leaves touching pretty much anything, stale air. It's just, they're sensitive, but it's okay. It's okay, it's natural. So this is one, and I have a baby one. So this is a baby one. I received it last year from Mina's Green Corner. All the leaves that you can see were grown by me. I bought it as like a baby regal. Yeah, even as a seedling, it is growing relatively slower than the rest of the plants. Like regals in general are very slow growers, so this is something you should take into account, especially if you get any rehabs. It's gonna take a long time for them to show any new leaves, more importantly than roots. So if it's growing roots, it's okay, you're fine, just wait. So this guy, it's very bullet-eye, like it has very prominent leaves, and the sinus is getting really nice and silvery. I know it had one more leaf which was freaking beautiful, but I had to cut it off due to fungal problems. As I mentioned, they are super sensitive to that, so it is staying like this. I think it should be pushing out a new leaf soon. Oh, and I cut it, so this is the top part, and I have a bottom part that's my propagation station, so I'm waiting for that one to sprout. And just for the reference, you can see the difference now, especially in the darkness, hopefully as well. So yeah, the regals. So the next plant is this Anthurium Papillae hybrid. Now this one actually contains some Papillae in it, unlike the other one that I showed you that was supposedly a Papillae. So this was an import as well. This is the leaf that I've received him with. It had fewer leaves, but they're gone now. It's okay. It has like a pointy root here. Ooh, can you see? So it's definitely really happy. So this is the first leaf it grew in my care. As you can see, the posterior lobes are really nice, and the sinus is very nice. It's just overall beautiful. And then it pushed out this leaf, and I was like, beautiful. So this guy, it's actually pretty big, and when it was unfurling, it didn't seem like it was gonna be really nice, but it's very bullet-eye. Once again, the hue on this is amazing. It has like bluish hue. Again, not sure you're gonna be able to pick it up on camera, but it's just amazing. And the lobes are super cute. It has more wider sinus, and it is working on a new leaf, so I'm excited to see it. It is again very well rooted, so it's a really happy plant, and I'm hoping that it blooms this year, because imagine the hybrids with this plant. Even if it's not a true poppy, I don't mind it, it's pretty. Okay, let's do the queens now. So I have 4 queens. Yes, I have a lot. So this is the first queen that I've received. You've seen this one a lot on my channel because I talked about her a lot. She's mine. I'm gonna keep her forever because we've been through everything. I pretty much grew her from a stump, rotting stump, mind you. I recently put her in my aerate mix, and surprise, surprise, like she had an active growth point, but usually once the stump develops one active growth point, which is this plant here, it will not put a lot of energy into those other growth points, but it has been growing. And I'm gonna show you a picture, but it has like 2 leaves that are inside a pot, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with it because she's just well rooted and established in this pot, and she's pushing out a new leaf, so we're gonna see. She doesn't have that prominent ears, as you can see, especially on the older leaves as well, but she has way more prominent venation than my other queens, which I'm gonna show you in a bit. Okay, so my pride and joy is her. She's just grew this beautiful leaf, which is not sure how exactly, it's around 43 centimeters, so it is bigger than her older leaf, which is about 40. I love her. I love this plant. It's beautiful. It's stunning. If you're debating whether or not you should get a queen, go get it. This is your sign. So I'm just gonna show you the roots real fast because she's super happy. Oh, there's one poking out here. So I repotted her when she was kind of pushing out a new leaf, so it wasn't the best time, but I was like, YOLO, I'm doing it, and she doesn't seem to mind. And the funny thing that I've noticed with this plant is she has relatively thin petioles. Hopefully you're gonna be able to tell. She has relatively thin petioles because the thing with Anthurium is the petiole size usually determines how big will the leaf be. But so this is an import that I did from Aquagenera, one of my last videos. And you can see that her petiole size is way thicker, whereas the leaf size is way smaller. Something I wanted to show because it bothers me. So my queen doesn't get that thick petioles yet. This is the other one. This leaf didn't end up hardening, and if you remember, she was pushing out a new leaf. I ended up cutting it just because it got a little wonky. And usually I leave the leaves on, but that one was just facing all directions. It was drying, it was crisping, the petiole was damaged, so I was like, we're better off. So she can focus on the roots now, which is the priority. And this is the other queen that I got from Aquagenera as well. She's been doing super good. She seems like she's getting ready to push out a new leaf, which is okay. And I think I saw some new root growth, which is also nice. They haven't lost any of the leaves. They're doing super well, so we're just giving them a bit more time to rehab and acclimatize. You thought we're leaving the queen realm? We're not. So, next plant is Anthurium waterberryanum crossed with Anthurium boraquianum. So this is the plant that I grew from stump as well, and I'm super proud. It was a cutting that Annika gave me. She was doing nothing, and I mean nothing, for the longest time, and now she has 2 offshoots. Actually, those 2 are the newest leaves on both of the offshoots. Hopefully it tells. This plant is super sparkly. I'm gonna show you a picture of mama plant, so she has potential to become that, and I'm like, yes, give me that, please, thank you. We're gonna move to Magnificums. So this was my first Magnificum. I got this from Aeroid apartment. It didn't like being shipped and all that, and it did die back to a stump, so everything that you see was grown by me. This is the newest leaf, and it's kind of special because it has more than 4 ridges on the petioles, but I've noticed that a lot of mature Magnificums have that. This one is really small, so it's interesting. It is about to push a new leaf, finally. And I'm gonna be repotting it out of this pot soon just because it dries out so fast, and as you can see it has holes in it as well, which is, it's great, but I have to water it all the time, so it's not great for me. Another Magnificum, this one I got from Aquagenera. This is really dark compared to this guy here. Hopefully you're gonna be able to tell the difference, even the guy in the background. I love this plant, and it has blessed me with a new leaf, and I'm so excited to see how this leaf is gonna grow and develop. It's very bronze colored, hopefully you're gonna be able to tell. It has very long petiole, and this plant also kinda didn't have any roots, and hopefully you're gonna be able to tell, but there are roots all over the pot, so I seem to have rehabbed super well, which I'm so happy, because I just want to see this plant grow and thrive just because it has such a potential. And now this is my big boy, one of the older leaves. It is yellowing up here. I think it is receiving too much light, but I've moved him now. This is one of the older leaves as well, and this is the leaf that it has grown in my care. We can do a head test. It is big, it's beautiful. It did have like some, I think, fungal problems, but I've been treating it with peroxide, and I think it has stopped spreading, so that's good. It had an efflorescence. I've documented the whole process with dates. I'm just gonna show you the root situation real fast because it's this. It has a pot full of roots and I'm not exactly sure what to do with it. It is Leaning Tower of Pisa. This is why there's a knife in it trying to balance it, but it's just not very stable, but I love him. He's my baby boy. It's not baby though. Okay, so this allegedly is Anthurium Magnificum verde. It is some sort of Magnificum hybrid for sure. This is the older leaf which is dying. It was beautiful. I'm gonna show you a picture here. I'm not sure why it's yellowing. It's been like this for a long time. But the thing with this plant is it loves pushing out inflorescences and then they die. So I'm just noticing, like, I think it's gonna push an inflorescence. Such a small plant, I don't know either, but it's getting thick. So this is the new leaf that it grew, as you can see. He didn't like something, but the sheen and the iridescence on this plant is amazing. And I think, oh yeah, it is pushing out a new leaf. This is exciting. I know it had some root rot, so I have yet to repot it and shrink those roots, but it is pushing out new roots, so I'm not really worried about that. Last but not least is my Anthurium Regalia, and this one as well. These two are the older leaves. I believe this is an arrow form. I believe the older leaves had way more ruffles, but now it hasn't been like exactly the happiest. So as you can see, it gave me a smaller leaf, and this leaf is also kind of small, but it's fine, it's growing. I've also repotted him and he has new roots, so that's fine. The new leaves on Vegeais are absolutely amazing. They come off brownish, olive, beautiful colors, and they shine so much. It's beautiful. Yeah, this was it for this video. My whole room is a mess because I have a dozen of Anthuriums here. It's gonna be quite a chore getting them all back to my growth tent. Wish me luck. So, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and comment and subscribe if you're not already, because it really helps me out. Hope you're gonna have a nice day and we're gonna see each other next time. Bye!